Welcome to another episode of Sketchy Tech. Today, I have a very awesome guest for us. We're going to be talking to Grant Harris in his studio here in Melville, and we're going to find out a sound engineer's point of view on voiceover, maybe a few tips on what you should do when you get into the booth and when you're sending home recordings. Let's get in it. Cool, guys. So, this is Grant. Some of you guys might know Grant from the scene. So, Grant, you've been doing engineering for what,
3 years.
23 years. So that's a long time.
It's been a while, yeah. It's been a minute. It's been a lot of fun.
So the studio that we're actually in today is where you did your apprenticeship?
Yeah, I finished my studies. It was a 2 years course of audio engineering, and got here, and the guys I started with said, cool, let's start your apprenticeship. Forget everything you've learned.
Practical hands-on knowledge.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh. So today we're going to talk about sort of the relationship between engineers and voiceover artists. You being on one side and people like you guys at home and myself being on the other side. Let's say, for instance, somebody is recording at home,
Yes.
and they need to send you a file. I suppose what are the worst things people can do sending you a file?
I think the worst thing you can do is probably start processing your files.
Okay.
Rather send it to me as clean and as raw as possible. Not to say that you guys shouldn't or can't do it.
Yeah.
But make sure that whoever you're dealing with knows what he's getting. It's as simple as while you're on a call with the engineer, or if you know who your engineer is, drop him a WhatsApp or an email and say, listen, I'm just going to do basic cleanup, cut up breaths or whatnot, and I'll send it off that way. You'll probably get a message back saying, just send it raw.
Yeah. And in terms of, I think that's something I'm very self-conscious of, is like the breaths and the mouth noises. If you guys have ever heard mouth noises of your own work, it is horrific. Having to take that out, I mean, from your point of view, is that just part and parcel of the job? Or?
It is. It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in studio, we'd be doing it anyway. So why must I now not do it because you're not in studio?
Yeah. Cool.
That's in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think probably about 80 or 90% of the engineers will agree with me, but everyone's different.
Yeah, rather leave the EQ and everything like that to the real geniuses, yeah. So then...
Wait.
we're gonna go...
Something my father drummed into me. Studio work aside. If you're 15 minutes early for a meeting, you're on time.
Yeah.
Okay. 30 minutes you're early, 15 minutes you're late.
Yeah.
South Africa's got the wonderful joys of load shedding, of our cops,
Yeah.
of traffic that just comes out of nowhere. Our taxis.
Yeah.
You're going to run late. So if you've got a 10 a.m. recording, check your ways from where you are to where you got to get to. See what the time is, and give yourself 15 minutes on top of that, just so that you get there on time. If you're running late in a studio, drop a message to your agent or drop a message to your next port of call and just let them know.
Yeah.
You get there late, everybody's waiting for you. It's your time. It's my time. It's the studio's time in my case. It's your client's time. It's your agent's time. You've ran 5 companies half an hour late.
If I can add anything from an artist's point of view, just something that I've learned is, first of all, as soon as you're late for a recording, you're flustered. If you're the type of person who needs to do recordings that require a sort of lower range, if you're tense, you're not going to get that smooth, deep, lower range. So that's already out the window. If you've got a couple of difficult words, you feel like everybody's wanting you to get them right first time because now you're late, you're going to fluff them over and over and over again. And the more you get it wrong, the worse it's going to get. So that sort of coming late thing just sets everything into a snowball effect kind of thing.
It just snowballs.
Yeah.
Come to studio with a pen or a pencil.
Yeah.
There's a common joke that goes around with all the engineers, and a lot of the studios have printed pens that say stolen from XYZ studio. The reason for that is because you never bring pens or pencils to your studio. The guy before you stole the pen. Now I don't have a pen or a pencil for you.
Yeah.
You're going to make changes to your scripts.
Yeah.
Make sure you have the tools with you. It's like going to a gunfight with nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need something to work with. We've tried the digital technology where we got iPads. Doesn't work because you need to make changes and notes to your scripts.
Yeah.
it's one of the few industries I think that still actually needs paper, because you need to visualize. I'm stopping here.
Yeah.
Or I'm supposed to stop here and I keep missing it. Highlight it so I can see.
Yeah.
Without the pen or pencil, you can't do that.
Yeah.
When you're done, please leave. Like, you can have a quick chat with the guys. You can, like, you guys happy? Everything cool? Let's do a playback. Okay, cool. I'm happy. Client's happy. Grant, you're happy. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, leave.
Yeah.
I don't need you hanging around. You don't need to build the relationships with the clients any more than what you've done.
Yeah.
So I've got a handful of voices who I've actually had to tell them to, like, okay, you can go.
Yeah.
I no longer need you here. We actually have to carry on working. And while you're talking, I can't work.
Yeah. Are there any instances, like, I have a tendency to try and be too helpful with things, where I work with one chap, David, and then he likes to adjust the microphone when you get into the booth and that sort of thing. And I'm like, no, you know, I'll do it. You know, I don't want you to do too much.
So there's an interesting thing there. First of all, does your engineer know that you're capable of handling that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. You might have a specific way that you prefer it. If the engineer is uncomfortable with you doing it, then you adjust it. As a beginner, that microphone is an 80,000 rand microphone. Touch the wrong button, drop that mic.
Yeah. You're
That's
doing lots of free voiceover.
That's a big problem, that.
Yeah.
So you need to know what you're doing. There are a handful of voices that I know. When they get in there, they can sit down, adjust the mic to what they like, and they do what they need to do. But if you've never worked with me before and you walk into my studio and you start touching my microphone, I'm not going to be happy with you. But, like, you can be over helpful.
Yeah.
I would say if you're in there and it is adjusted and it's too high, Mr. Engineer, Grant, can you just come pull it down for me a little bit? It's a little high.
Yeah.
I'll say to you, after we've kind of sat and I've seen, like, no, actually, you can just pull it down a little bit. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I know that the mic's not going to fall or something, because I can see what you're going to do. It's always good to let people know that, or at least let your engineer know. Like, if it's your first recording and I'm coming in there to set the mic with you, like, hey, listen, it's my first recording. Just take it easy.
Take it easy, yeah.
If you start battling with certain words or certain inflections, we're just going to get annoyed.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that, okay, hold on, he's a newbie.
Yeah.
I'll pull back a little bit and I'll say, okay, listen, we had a situation with a young voice artist recently who didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And we battled and we battled and we battled. Eventually the voice artist was standing outside you, voicing with him, so that we can try to get something out of him. And only afterwards, when he left, his mother actually said, oh, that was cool, that was his first recording.
Okay.
Well, it would have been good to know in the first place.
Yeah, you know, there's all the code words that we find in studio where people go, yeah, that's good enough. We've got something to work with, you know, that sort of thing. When do you know you've messed up? Is it
that's hard to say, because when there's a lot of communication and the talkback's closed, it's one of two things.
Yeah.
A, your engineer's forgotten to open up the mic and we're looking at you talking to you and you've got no idea that we're talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
Or we have to have a discussion this side because we're not happy with what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to actually know.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to notice on the people's expressions, on their body language, on the way they're talking to you. Like, if they say something like, we've got enough to work with, chances are I've got 6 takes and I can take pieces of all of them. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, from my side, I'd rather be open with you.
Yeah.
So if we're just not there, if you're not cracking it, I'll come to you and say, listen, but it's not working.
Yeah. Then
try live.
Like 3 things that your favorite artists to work with have in common.
Directability.
Okay. I think that maybe we can just hock on that just for 1 second. I think that is a huge thing. Directability. In my sense, it's basically being able, when the guys ask you to say to slow down or speed up or be louder or quieter, is to be able to do that.
That's exactly it. I can't tell you how many times I've got a voice in the studio and like, okay, cool, we need you to go faster. You do the read and you're slower.
Yeah.
How are you 5 seconds slower than your first read?
Yeah.
Like, take what we're saying, understand what we're saying, and do what you're told. When a client says to you, we need you to be happier and give us a smile. And you sit and do that read, and you still don't smile. See, smile. If you don't get that,
Yeah.
and you can't understand that, and understand how it changes your read, I can't work with you.
Yeah.
So that directability is very important. By far, the top of the range, the top of that list. If you've got a recording Monday morning, don't go party on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Don't come into studio hungover. Don't come into studio high as a kite, which happens way more than it should.
Sure.
It's like going for a business interview or going to a meeting with the CEO of FNB.
Yeah.
You're not going to rock up there late and smelling of alcohol, and you're just not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. A lot of the times we have the CEOs or the marketing directors of these places, and you rock up here like nonchalant and don't actually care.
Yeah.
Like that's not on. There's no voice. I'm going to say this. There's no talent in this country that can justify being an hour late. So I would say the third on that list is honesty.
Yeah.
If you're going to produce a demo and put that demo online, and it took you a day to record that demo because you wanted it so perfect, and at the end of the day you're extremely happy with what you've got, you put it on air, and I book you based on that demo, and you walk into studio, I give you a script and you can't read.
Yeah.
It's false misrepresentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't work with somebody who's now taken a day to record something that's 30 seconds long, and you now have to do that recording in 30 seconds. If that is the case and it comes out, clients they're going to refuse to pay performance fee because you can't perform.
Yeah.
So obviously with the falling over of VoiceBank, VoiceMe has picked up. That's voiceme.co.za. It's definitely worth getting your voice listed up there. That's partnered up with Soundex, which is an indexing site that I use for the audio engineers, or that I've built for the audio engineers. But VoiceMe, I've done a lot of work searching for voices through VoiceMe. By far the best search engine, by far the most versatile system that's available in South Africa as voice artist.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm involved with is SAVOA, the South African Voiceover Academy. If you're a beginner or you want to just go a little bit further with your voiceover career, I definitely suggest you look the guys up at savoa.co.za, I think. And come join us on a booth camp on a weekend, and you walk away with 3 demos, and you've had some training with guys like myself.
Yeah.
Up until recently, Carl Fox has been doing the training in Joburg, and then Cape Town, Durban, Pretoria, and Joburg run courses through the year. You can do one-on-one sessions with the guys, or you can book demos and come do demos with us in studio. We can always discuss the rates at a later stage, but
get your checkbooks ready.
Small checkbooks, it's not a lot.
Awesome. Grant, thank you so much for your time today and inviting me into your studio.
No, my pleasure.
We'll put this up, guys. If you enjoyed this, please let us know. Share it with people that you think might benefit from this video, and let us know any topics or questions that you might want to ask Grant or any of the sound engineers, and hey, maybe we'll do a follow-up video with those cues in the video. Thanks for watching.
Cheers, guys.